Right, so we got new outfits. No, I don't want to look like that. Give me my colour back. Investigate sector elevator. Boardroom. Sector elevator.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there, reaching for her, trying to make her act. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man, a hunger in the dark. Investigation sector.
Investigation sector, huh?
Ooh.
Check this out.
Have I got to that point? Investigation sector, huh? Well, this isn't promising, is it? Ooh. So I'm at the sector office.
Hello? Anyone here? Guess not.
I've entered Alan Wake's realm. Darling investigation, as per authorization from Mr. Kirtland. Internal investigation D084-5. Launched into ethical procedures of Dr. Casper Darling. Head of research despite amounts of anonymous blank regarding inhumane treatment of a blank currently housed in the Bureau. Our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during the investigation. The majority of blank sector personnel seemed to be wholly unaware of such blank contained here. One blank confirmed the blank's codename to be blank, but all files pertaining clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the blank research ring to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by lack of clarity on whether or not non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address the charges against Dr. Darling, we do not recommend an investigation into blank research. Pink Flamingo, no unique procedure required. Altered status is suspected but not verified. Plastic pink flamingo, lawn ornament, 2 steel prongs extend underside. The item is suspected to influence atmospheric physics, altering meteorological phenomena in the area. This effect is currently unconfirmed. Rebedeki. Direct contact with the item is not permitted. Safety gloves are required when handling. Item is a yellow rubber duck bath toy from the 1950s. Single hole in the bottom allows air and water to flow in and out. The item makes a sound analogous to quacking. The item travels considerable distance with surprising speed. How it achieves this motion is unknown. The item forms a blank of unknown purpose with anyone who makes direct physical contact with it and begins to follow them, quacking often. This has led to a researcher named Blank entering cardiac arrest. Though, due to the individual's health issues, the matter may not be connected to the item's effect. Dylan hotline. Ooh.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there. A presence. Jesse Faden could hear it. A call. It was faint, reaching for her from a dark place. Faden was sensitive to visitations. She had them all the time. From her guiding star and the previous director. She was the perfect receiver. As if she'd been made for this. Faden paused to feel it. The force at play here. It was changing things around her, subtle. Trying to make her act. Faden didn't like that. Her guide felt it too. Polaris didn't flare up in defense as with the hiss, so it wasn't all bad. Not a hostile transmission. It was powerful, but it was coming from far away, and made weak because of the distance. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man, a man desperate to escape. She sensed something else too. A hunger in the dark, not unlike the hostile resonance, waiting. She knew that desperate acts can have grim consequences. It was this, more than the man's despair, that made her follow the call. The elevator lights winked back on. The darkness receded like a memory. There was a new button on the elevator control panel. Investigation Sector. Faden pressed the button. The elevator doors slid shut with practiced bravado.
Yeah, I definitely think we are in the DLC.
Seems a lot more crowded than the rest of the Bureau.
Casey Inquiry. Mr. Dennis, a request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all information on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of author Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of the fictional detective in those hardboiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with the writer's fictional coming true. I think it's worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy. Special Investigator Gleason. Missing agents. Mr. Kirkland, here are the latest confirmed missing, presumed dead from your containment breach yesterday. Agent Johnson Connor, researcher Ezra Kreutz, Agent Caroline Dempsey, Agent Lindsley Malcolm, Agent Charles Murray, Agent Derek Saar. Letters of condolence will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to the families. You will be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases are backed up digitally. Fortunately, a large number of active investigations are not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind Firebreak. They're lost, I'm afraid. Oh, it's pulling me in so many directions. Tractor supplement. Note, miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrough. Burrough William, male, Caucasian, case summary, 33-year-old man found dead on his property per police report. Remains obtained for coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Autopsy findings: blunt force injuries, head, lacerations, left ear, cheek, blunt force injuries, extremities, dislocation, right knee, complete avulsion of right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus. Extensive trauma, abdominal region, complete avulsion, multiple organs including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions large and small intestine, all missing from scene. Conclusion is my opinion that Mr. Burroughs' death is not a result of a mechanical accident. It's claimed by authorities the removal of organs is consistent with an animal attack. Oops. Resignation letter. blank of blank 2019. To whom it may concern, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations of the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's blank. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must rely on my actions to speak louder than words ever could. I blame the situation on our blank, whose particular routinely ignored my requests for assistance in reclaiming parts of the investigations lost to the blank loose inside. I will never forget those screams of brave agents begging for us to open that firebreak. I will carry the shame for the rest of my days. The blank has failed his agents. I shall never forgive him for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland. Okay, that's where it wants me to go. Staffing issue. Mr. Dennis, so yes, there's an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that there is a tiny detail that slipped through the cracks. We do not have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. Simple math. Between the staff we lost on the Hartman thing and the ones who are left from other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filing the paperwork for all the altered items we're left behind in a sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate the whole sector's worth of staff, but we put forward a motion to move investigations to more suitable location months ago. Better not be sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, and Kirkland's interim replacement. It's your job to handle it. Best regards, Agent Greason. And you can be popped out for some reason. Probably to give power to you. Okay. Can I go up these stairs? That's the question I have right now. Sector head office. Lots of things to look at. Underhill background. Dr. Rana Underhill is a professor at the University of Wicklow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed on the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no instance or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. So this is the fungal woman. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to para-criminal organisations or any record of breaching her NDA since leaving the Bureau. No, it isn't. Her civilian behaviour has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an intern position with the aim of finding... yes, it is. So Darling got her the job. Shade facet. Okay, didn't see like that. But years of excellence. Recognition. Trench, official warning. Kirtland, I'm growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What do you think would happen holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? What's specimen, though? The containment sector exists for a reason. They are better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of a bureau. Prime candidate program only failed because of Darling. You're both failures plotting against me. You are the traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You're choosing to become the enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be Zachariah Trench Director. Tension. Director Investigations, R.E. Blank. As per authorization from Kirkland, blank was launched into blank of Director of Zachariah Trench. A recent change in blank witness in Director Trench, including aggressive blank when blank with other staff, has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable blank between Director Trench and Dr. Darling have been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Though both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their argument centered around Dimensional Research Wing and the blank kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench's blank has anything more than an interpersonal disagreement. This investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behaviour is not indicative of any blank and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Bit of power struggle. Oh, there goes all that. So, basically, the investigation sector got pushed out of their own sector for reasons. Where's this gotta go? Okay, let's put you back in. Can I?
It's not working. Probably a loose power core somewhere.
That goes there. That goes there. Can I go through here? Ah, wait a minute. That's where it went wrong. We're floating in the air.
That gate should open.
Oh, that sounds bad. Tractor procedures. This item in Bureau custody unknown. Frank elk tractor, olive green, dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses or growls and unmanned locomotion. Considered highly aggressive and dangerous. So one of the animated vehicles from Alan Wake. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burroughs, the owner of the Blower firm outside Trenton, Texas. Then again, I could be wrong. Local authorities arrived on the scene after the employee found the mutilated Mr. Barra beneath his tractor. Police arrived but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panic calls to federal authorities were intercepted by the Bureau communication staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item. It responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Miss Barra only revealed that she had had a domestic altercation with Mr. Barra earlier that night of the incident. Whether the events are connected is currently unknown. Christine of the Tractor World. Ethics investigation. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation P142-9 was launched into the integrity of the Prime Candidate Program blank by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anomalous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarming clear picture of systemic blank and blank blank were brought into the oldest house and placed under blank examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic blank of a paranormally inclined blank. Not only is this a breach of the Ash Act, but it flies in the face of basic human blank. The investigation team unequivocally blank the Prime Candidate Program recommends that it be blanked immediately. I actually think that last blank was actually blanking appropriate because, yeah, it's not a good thing. Wow, how many documents? Keystone inspection. Mr. Kirtland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE. Like you asked, I'm sending my report directly to you and tried to keep a lid on this German Morales desertion issue. Did not find any sign of them here. Given their records, it is possible they switched teams. Like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Gurum and Morrows got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Reminds me of the ordinary case, but that was just the adults, if I'm remembering the case file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings, 2 overlapping circles with a dot shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out here to cordon off this place and get some of the comm guys working on the cover story. Sincerely, Agent Kilim. It'd be nice to get back to some action after all that reading. Oh, there's another document. Specimen escape assessment. Incident A49. The purpose of internal investigation X039-7 is to examine the containment failure on specimen SI1 that resulted in deaths of blank agents. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error is the cause, yet no department has provided any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to recover the researchers' notes on the specimen from the internal network. On the blank of blank, the specimen began displaying a sharp increase in aggressive blank. Cross-referencing the that date with various logs found, only 2 events inconsistent with sector daily routines. 1, the air filters were changed. 2, an hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice Blank. Alice Wake? Maybe? Yeah. Maybe. Entered the sector regarding unrelated investigation. No, that's too much of a coincidence. Given their connection to the same AWE connection, it is likely that Miss Blank's presence is relevant to the specimen's escape to the Blank. Yeah, I think they hired Miss Wake. What is going on? We have a clicker.
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
Yep. Blessed organization. Okay. This group of individuals has operated outside the Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups. A review of the past cases has found various members of their activity over the years. 2016 production company called Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in illegal use of an altered item. In 1988, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with Object Power case, perhaps even creating it. Yeah, all blessed. None of the businesses or individuals have ever been located. However, their connection and appearances of altered items and objects of powers is too direct to be considered circumstantial. Arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with Blessed organization. That's interesting what they're hinting at there. Is that there's an organization out there letting these things loose on the world. But yeah, I think, this is going to be a fantastic diving off point for my next stream of this. Just be able to go in, do the clicker, sort out the hotel, and find out what Mr. Wake wants from me. So, till then, I'd like to say thanks for watching and have a good one.